Let's give it up for Mr. William Shatner. Come on out.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My gosh, that's a big crowd for a Friday night traffic in Washington. It's so good to see you. I hate being way back there. Just a moment here. In the interest of intimacy, I'll let you pull the chair right up, right up. Perfect. Oh my God. No, don't talk to me. So, it's Friday night in Washington. It's Friday night, I must be in Washington. God, look at y'all. It's really good. I don't even know where to start. Have we set up for questions and all that kind of thing? Okay, good. Well, why don't I just tell you a little bit about what I've been doing, unless you want to talk about what you've been doing. The last couple of weeks, I think, they played a Shark Week that I did. Anybody see the Shark Week? Oh my God, you should have seen Shark Week. I was 60 feet underwater with tiger sharks. No, don't clap for me. Clap for the tiger shark. It was incredible. So this guy, Josh Gates, have you seen his program, like adventure things? So he calls me. I don't know him. I mean, I had seen the show a couple times thinking, what a great job this guy's got. He can go anywhere in the world, do anything he wants. I mean, imagine, anywhere you want to go, the network or whatever, whoever's paying the bills. Where would you like to go this week, Josh? You know? And he'll say, I'd like to, well, for example, I do a show on the History Channel called The Unexplained. 3 people over here. I don't understand that. And we did a really inexplicable mystery that has no explanation. Well, by definition, mysteries don't have an explanation, but so that's redundant. That's called redundant. But I don't mind being redundant. We did a show about a group of Russian students, college students who went into the mountains and then disappeared for about 3 or 4 months until the spring or the summer, and they were found. And they were found, they had been in a group tent, and they could tell by the way the tent was cut that they had cut themselves out of the tent and ran into the area helter-skelter. They ran in every direction because when the bodies were finally found, there were bodies over a square mile. They had run in the snow. Something had frightened these students, and nobody knows what it was. Nobody knows why a group of young people slit the canvas and they didn't put anything on in 50 below zero. They ran out to their death, and they must have known that something frightened them so much that they got out of there. And they were mutilated, their bodies were... And the Russian soldiers finally found them. So we did that as a mystery on The Unexplained. Unexplained. Was it the winds? Was it the animals? Was it the tribes? We gave them all kinds of... Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I haven't lost my touch. How old is he? I could get him. Okay. Unless it's a bathroom call, and that I understand, right? So we do that mystery, you know, and I'm on a stage like this with big things being projected behind me, saying, what a mystery that is. So I tune into Josh Gates, and he is doing the same mystery, except he's there. He's on the mountain dressed in parkas and masks, and he's walking around saying, this is where they pitched the tent, and it was 50 below zero like it is now, and I think maybe we never got out of here because my lips are frozen. I mean, he was there. That's the kind of guy he was. So he says to me, what kind of adventure would you like to go on? I said, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not where I could run down a mountain or up a mountain. I'd like to climb K2, but I can't because I'm not physically capable of doing it. What could I do? He says, what about sharks? So I've been an open water diver for many years. I've had the license, and I go out like some people, you know, 3-4 times a year, vacation, you strap a tank on, you go down, you look at the little fishes, you know, and you're in the reef, and it's 30, 40 feet up there, but should something terrible happen, you could always except if you see a white tip, and I think it's the white tip, because there's a difference between a white tip and a black tip shark. One you have to watch out for, and the other you don't. And I don't know, and I'm afraid to say what color in case people accuse me of racism. So I don't know what to look out for. I really don't know. I don't know whether it's the white tip or the black tip, but one is dangerous and one isn't. That's what you're told. Look, don't be careful. Don't put your hands in strange places, and watch out for the sharks. Be careful of the sharks. And Gates is saying, so we'll go down and we'll see and we'll chum and maybe we can get some big sharks there. And they introduced me to the shark lady, and she says, I've been here for 30 years. I love sharks, and sharks don't eat people. They're really just apex predators. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know about apex predators. They're apex predators because they eat everything. So now I'm on board the ship off the Bahamas. I love it when they're Bahamians, but they're from Bahama. And I never know whether they're Bahamians and they're from Bahamia, but then I don't know with the white tip and the shark and the black tip. So I'm on the ship, ready to dive in. Got my mask, got the tank, got the thing, and I'm looking down at the water where I jump in, and it's swirling with sharks. And the guy says to me, most dangerous part of this dive is getting in and out of the water because they're all around there, these sharks. So you could get bitten on the way in or on the way out. Okay. So I jump in, nothing happens. I get down about 60 feet, and I've got a marvelous Bahamian diver with me. I've forgotten his name. I think something like Alfred. So Alfred's right behind me, and he's taking me in, and I see this cameraman. There's like 5 or 6 cameramen, and then there are the divers, and then there's this Alfred behind me, and there's a big rock or something there, and I'm sitting on the rock, and I'm looking at 18-foot tiger sharks, okay? So this isn't white tip or black tip. There are 2, well, maybe more than 2, but 2 that are really significant. One is the white shark, and the other is the tiger shark, the apex predators of the ocean. And I'm looking at 4 of them right there. And I got the guy behind me who said to me, I got your back because tigers are ambush predators. I said, what does that mean? He says, they come up from behind you and they take a bite to see if they want to eat you. So I'll be there, I got your back. So I'm looking over, where's Alfred? And I'm seeing 4 18-foot. Do you know what 18-foot sharks look like? Do you know what 18 feet is from here to the young lady? That's about it. Yeah, no, you, no, me, you, me. Yeah, okay, good, we got it. That's how big the bloody shark was. Now, let's you and I look at each other. How big was their mouth? No, that's no, a little bit bigger, about there. Now do that like 3 or 4 times. That's what I was looking at. Okay? Meanwhile, this is turning out to be a whole routine. I could do this for an hour and say goodbye. So I'm looking over here, and from here to the sound thing is the shark whisper. Where are you going? He's going after the kid. It's a child molester. He's going up to photograph the kid going to the toilet. That wasn't really nice of me to say. Could you wipe that out? Yeah, right. So I'm looking over at the shark whisperer lady. She's surrounded by half a dozen sharks, 5, 6 feet long, and they're kind of like all around. She's petting on them. And then I'm looking at her, and she's coming over at me with a 5-foot shark in her arms, and she places it in my lap. That's what I did. And I got if you watch the show, this is no exaggeration. Now I'm petting a 5-foot shark. Everybody else is wearing chainmail in case they get bitten by a shark. I'm not wearing chainmail. I don't have gloves. I can feel the shark's coat, skin. It's like this carpet here. It gives a little bit, it's very harsh, but yet it's soft. It was fair. And then I got to the fin, and I traced the fin up. And then, see, I've done a little studying about all this. So orcas eat great whites from time to time. How do they do that? How does an orca take the most, I was going to say malevolent, but it isn't. It's just the predatory animal on Earth, maybe, and they turn it upside down. But they have, sharks have what they call a tonic feint or something, a tonic condition, which is, if you turn, it's like, who's going to bell the cat? Who's going to bell the cat, says the mouse. If we put a bell on the cat, we'll hear the cat coming, says one mouse, and the other guy says, well, who's going to bell the cat? So one orca has got to say to the other orca, who's going to turn this orca upside down? Because if you turn a shark upside down and the belly is showing, and you stroke the belly, it goes into a tonic feint. It just kind of faints. And it faints, and then the orcas eat their liver. And the shark dies in a tonic feint. So I'm thinking, this shark is in a tonic. She's scratched the bottom, and it's fainted. Except when I inadvertently, my finger goes into one of the gills, and it swims off. It's alive. I thought it might have been a dead shark. And then I go up to the top to get out, and as I'm remembering the guy saying going in and getting out of the boat is the most dangerous part, and I'm stepping on the ladder to going out, and all those sharks are around, and I swear to you, I heard a shark say, "Look at that asshole." Should have seen Shark Week. Now you don't have to see it. Okay. So now, no applause. Just money. It's such a pleasure to be with you. There's such gentleness here, isn't there? Like friends meeting at a dinner party. Who's got the food? I don't know. I need crab. So I see a microphone. I see 2 empty microphones. Is there anybody going to fill? Is anybody going to stand up? There's a stand up right there. Look, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. You in the blue.
I
Wait a minute. No, you can't do that. The question has to be so important that writing it down, you can't refer to something you've written down.
You have to have
No,
words,
no,
right? No,
you're not allowed to look at your clock. Put it away.
Okay.
Now, your question is important to you, right?
Yes, it is.
What is it?
Okay, so I'm
Right
Teresa.
close to the microphone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm Teresa, and I'm one of the many people who went into the space industry because of Star Trek.
You did.
So my question is, when you guys first started filming Star Trek, did you guys have any idea the impact that it would have on
Well, Leonard said to
technology?
me, we're doing the show, I got to go into the space industry. No, he didn't say that. I thought that would be a joke, and I want you to know what just happened. When comics make a joke and nothing happens, that's like death, okay? So Leonard said to me, I want to go into the space industry. Thank you. I really appreciate the chemistry. So, what is your question?
My question was, did you guys have any idea the impact that Star Trek would have on
Of course.
the space industry?
Of course, in as much as you and I know that this relationship right now, 55 years from now, you will be discussing this question and answer. Are you aware that that's what's happening? Wait till 55 years goes by. You will remember this moment and say, how did he know that people would be talking about this exchange that you and I had? That's how much we knew. You're doing a show. What is it? Well, what do they want me to say? When the Fantas goes up to the Centist, then you go to the, and there's nonsense syllables. So we're saying to each other, what are we saying? You know? You got the con. What's the con? Hi, young man. Hey, what's his name? What? Henry? Hi, Henry. Feeling better, sweetheart? I hope so. Okay. Okay? Get out of here.
Hi, my name is Liza, longtime fan. Saw you
Thank
at the
you.
1976 New York convention the last time.
76 convention.
76.
That's beyond my... I don't quite remember what I had for breakfast.
Just a comment, really, I love all your work. Really would wish you'd go back to Never, Better Late Than Never. It was a wonderful show.
Better late than never.
And obviously you love to travel.
The same three people just clap for better late than never.
No, it was a big hit.
What?
Maybe not financially, I don't know. But everyone I know loved it. So here's a prayer for that.
Okay, I wish I could understand what you're saying, but I know you have a question buried in there.
No, sorry, just that comment.
That's
Thank you
much
very
better.
much.
Oh, just comment. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shatner.
Good afternoon, my dear.
My name is Lenore Reyes Labastida.
Give me a short term of that.
My maiden name was McCrae.
McCrae?
I've had a few husbands, but I cut them off.
It's a pleasure to meet you, dear.
I have a question.
Yeah.
My birthday is March 22nd.
No kidding. Are we the same age?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
1970, March 22nd.
I've had a difficult life, otherwise, okay.
My question to you is, we are known as the babies of the Zodiac.
We're the babies of the Zodiac?
We are the babies.
Never heard of that.
We are the firstborn. So we have this thing where they say we never grow up because we are the babies of the Zodiac.
As you can see, I fulfill that completely. Right.
I am a flight attendant because I can't keep still. I like to keep going and doing things all the time, which labels us sometimes impatient or immature. If you have ever been labeled as a person who doesn't quite like to grow up or still likes to have fun all the time, how have you dealt with that?
Well, wait a minute. You equate having fun all the time with not growing up? Some of us who have grown up still like to have fun.
Exactly. I think we have the same personality. I see the same gleam in your eyes.
Something links us.
I'm feeling it.
I know, me too. Babies of the
it.
Zodiac.
That's what you are, sir.
Oh, my God.
You're stuck as a baby for your entire life.
I love it.
My question for my son.
Oh, that was a question. That's right.
Yeah, my son's. You already answered my question and said you have no desire to grow up. My son's question.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Okay.
Which is what you believe in. I want you to believe it. I want to grow up sometime.
Oh, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay. My little boy's question was.
How old is your little boy?
He's 8 years
40.
old.
My little boy is 40.
He's 8 years old. I had him when I was.
He's 8.
I was 43 years old when I had him.
Come on.
His question is, at what age did you first ride a horse? And I will go away.
No, don't go away. We love to gaze on you.
Okay. I'm used to it. I'm a flight attendant.
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh,
No
my
big deal.
God.
They're the exits.
When's your next flight? I'll get on it.
Cleveland.
When? Cleveland?
Cleveland, yes.
That's an hour.
That's all I can handle at my age, sir.
Well, horses, there's something about having you can sit down. At your age, you may have to. There's something about a genetic memory that what happened in the past can enter your DNA. So by that I mean, if people in your background, if you did something or do something, may come into your genes if it's done enough, I suppose. And so there's a genetic memory, is what they're saying. Because that's the only reason I can figure that that I love horses, that I have a passion for horses, because nobody in my family ever owned horses. My business manager said to me, "Don't buy something that eats while you sleep." And I tried to take that to heart, but I couldn't. So I fell in love with horses, but I was about 12, I think, and there was a rental stable nearby our house. That's how far out in the country we were. But since then, we're like downtown now because Montreal has expanded, so like every other city. And so there was a rental stable, and somehow I think swapping out the stables, pushing manure around, I was able to get a ride on a horse. And that was the first and last time until I was able to afford a horse much later in life. So I don't know where it came from. I ascribe it to genetic memory, okay? But at the moment, I mean, when I leave here, I'm going to go to Louisville, Kentucky, and there's the World Championships going on at the fair there, and continuing, it's got to be 35, 40 years of always going to the Kentucky State Fair, and the Saddlebred World Championships are there. And let me tell you this story that's occurring to me, present day history. So, if you don't know something about what you're doing, people are likely to take advantage of you. So, training a horse and horse expenses, they got to be shod, they got to be doctored, so there's so much going on. They say, well, Mr. Shatner, we have this expense, and then so down, yeah, we'll pay it, okay, pay it. You don't really know what's going on. And so where do I want to go with this story? So there's so many stories and so little time. So I'm on my way to go see. I'm going to drive. I've won world championships in what they call trotting horses, standardbreds, that trot fast. In this case, in a small arena, they trot slow, fast, and then faster. And there may be 10 people in the ring, the small ring, maybe twice the size of this room, going at top speed, going 40 miles an hour around a bend like that. I mean, it's a bit scary. And I've won world championships at that skill, but I haven't done it in a year and a half. So I'm going to Louisville to compete on Monday morning in driving a bike. Okay. But philosophically, the inner meaning of all that for me is this. So I've got a friend of mine who's now dead, who is a veterinarian. So the veterinarian also was breeding horses, and I saw a baby horse that he owned, and I said, "Oh, I like that horse. You want? Well, you can buy it." So I bought it for very little money, just because I liked the little horse. I mean, it was a baby, but the baby grew up to be really expensive, and he felt that I had taken advantage of him. This is my reasoning. So one day he says to me, "You know, there's a great trotting horse over in Knoxville, Tennessee." He said, "Something you should look at." He says, "I've got I have a private plane that I got a pilot that flies me because I'm very busy doctoring horses, so I use the plane. We could use my plane and fly to Knoxville. You could see this horse." So you could fly to Knoxville? He said, "Yeah, why not? I mean, so my wife and I, and he and his wife get in the plane. The pilot flies us to Knoxville, and there's this guy in Knoxville who has a lot of horses, and he brings out this trotting horse, and they start trotting up this dirt road, and my wife, who is a trainer, watches these people throwing pebbles on the tin roof. And she says, "They're trying to make his ears, the horse's ears, stand up." Really? And then this guy comes down the track with this horse, and the horse is good-looking horse, a mare. Wow. So she says, "But I wouldn't buy this horse if I were you." So I said, "Liz, come on." So let me drive the horse. So I get in, and the horse is tough, but I'm tougher. And this horse is pounding on my God, this is a great horse. I'll buy the horse, but it needs to be examined. So the veterinarian examines the horse. And he says, "This is a great horse. This is perfect. This is hind end. Her hind end is perfect. It's just this is a great horse." So I buy the horse. The horse is shipped next day or so to where I live, where I have horses, and the horse comes out of the truck and can barely walk. Horse is crippled. For some reason, the veterinarian, and I think he owned the horse, sold me the horse, said he did the examination, and the horse was crippled. Okay, so that's really bad, right? So that happens to all of us in various things. People do you harm, and you survive it, you go on. And you go on. So I had this mare who couldn't walk, but was obviously good breeding, a terrific horse, but it had been used up a lot. It had been really badly used. But I thought, I'll breed that mare. And my trainer for standard breds is a Hall of Fame trainer. So I got this stud, So we brought the stud to the mare. She had a baby, a great baby. She had a second baby. She had a third baby, and then she died. So she had 3 babies that I have on the ground. Each one of them is superb. I'm going to drive one, somebody's going to ride one, and the Hall of Fame guy is going to drive the other. And they're all great horses. So my point is, when something terrible happens to you, if you can endure, you will overcome. I suppose that's philosophical, but I'm on my way there after my engagement here. I'm on my way there, so it's like in my mind, like, golly, I wonder if I can win with these horses because they're now in the world championships. It's going to be interesting to see how all 3 of them do as a result of I've not been there for a year and a half, all that stuff. My dear, in the blue shirt, hi, how are you?
Oh, hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
Really good. Get a little closer to the mic. You sounded, the word I would use is desultory. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm right. I'm good. Like you don't really care how good. Do you really feel good?
Oh, well, I'm just.
No, see what I mean?
Polite,
Oh, well,
I just.
I don't. Now, wait a minute. What's your name?
I'm David.
David, how old are you?
I'm 23.
23?
Yeah.
David, you're 20 bloody 3. Okay. I'm not going to use the F word, okay?
Okay.
You're 20 bloody 3. You should be feeling great.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about being on the cusp of the thing. You're on the cusp of your life.
I know. I
want to hear enthusiasm.
I know. I would be feeling great. I waited
now you got
really long
now
time to ask a question.
That's what I want to hear from you, David.
Really frustrated.
Now you got it, David.
I wanted to be polite, so I didn't say anything.
No, this is not polite. This is meaningful.
Okay.
You're laughing, David. That makes me happy. All right.
Words at a time.
Oh, look at you. That's great. You're philosophical. Yeah. You're happy. Look, you're facing the crowd. It's great, man.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, man. Now we're back to... For a brilliant one moment, you had it. You got to go back to it when you're done here, okay?
I will.
I want to hear you go out of the room. Strella, I got it. Okay, what's your question?
Got it. Yeah, all right. Here's my question for you, William Shatner. Well, I saw you at the show Better Late Than Never. It was truly amazing. I'm really glad.
How wonderful.
Very lucky.
I'm liking you more and more, David.
I'm glad to hear it. All right, anyway. So I was just wondering.
Yes.
So I guess, we all just get to that point in our lives when we lose people we care about.
Yes.
And I'm sure I can speak of everyone here when I say that we're all feeling some really deep sorrow about the passing of Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had any really good memories of him you would share with us today.
All good memories.
Well, just more specific, just something that really stands out. There's just a powerful memory, like something that really, like I was lucky to know him. And
I was lucky to know him.
He'll always be my friend. Oh, come on.
You see what happens, David? I was lucky to know him. I loved him. He was my brother. We were born 4 days apart. He grew up basically in the same way I did. He was in Boston, I was in Montreal, and we were kindred spirits. He got divorced, which is like a death. I got divorced. He died. The people died. Children. We were in the same car there'd be a limo taking us from one place to another, and we'd be talking. We'd get on stage. We'd make each other sick with laughter, and I discovered things. I had a couple of talk shows, and I had him on a talk show, and I'd known him for years. He's on a talk show. What else are you going to find out? So what do you know? And what do you got? And he says, well, my grandfather was at home. I said, what did your grandfather do? Well, my grandfather was in leather. No kidding. He said Leonard, God, I just thought of something I haven't thought of in years. What's that, Leonard? When I'd come home from Hollywood, and I'd be in Boston, and my grandfather would reach in and feel my shoes. So that's weird, man. What was your grandfather doing feeling your shoes? He said, because he worked in leather. He wanted to see if my shoes were worn or not, if I could afford to fix my shoes or not. So he would gauge how I was doing as an actor by the condition of my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Is that sweet?
Oh, it's very sweet.
Is that like a great memory?
Oh, it truly is.
Okay, great. That's great, David. That's wonderful.
Okay.
I'm pumping you up, David.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
I got you. Live long and prosper.
I have already.
Well, keep on going.
Boy. There you go, David. That's the key to success, what you've got there. That joy and enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'll hold on to that.
I'll hold on to that doesn't do it, David. I'll hold on to that. Keep going. I'll hold on to that. Who's getting me off here? Somebody coming to give me a time? I'm having too good a time. I'm going to forget, and we'll all be here until evening. That's okay.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so good.
I follow you on Twitter, and I was so happy when I heard you were coming to AwesomeCon. I was like, yes, finally.
It's good, thanks.
Yes, everybody loves you for Star Trek,
Really?
Boston Legal.
Yeah.
Yes. I love you for Mr. Congeniality.
Oh.
It's a great movie. Yes.
I don't get it. This one little movie, and everybody claps, and I'm doing shows for years, and 3 people down here clap. I don't get it.
Us 3 people love you.
Well, I don't understand, which is the title of a talk show I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I'm doing 44 half hours, and they've shown a couple, and management came back and said, we want you to do another 44 half hours this season. I'm going to do 88 half hours, like in the next year, of just like on the plane coming here, I'm reading a book. I read all the time. I'm exploring the world in books, which we all know happens, but you got to do it to get it. Like David's got to do it. He's got to get it. Work for it. The book that I was reading on the plane here is about mosquitoes.
Okay.
Mosquitoes. How they are the apex predator of humanity. They have killed so many billions more people over the ages than anything else. Mosquitoes, how they breed, what they get, where they go. It's a fascinating book. So I sent a message to the producer of my show saying, here's a subject I don't understand. I'd like to talk to this author, if possible, about mosquitoes. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. You can see it on RTTV, and Venture app. What's that called when you go into the app? Streaming. It's in streaming.
Well, you answered my question.
What's your question?
No, I said you answered. I was asking, what are you doing, and what can we see you? Are you doing?
Well, wait a minute. The big thing is. Let me tell you about the what?
I said, give us the dirt.
Look at you. Have you met David? Because you got to tell. So, a friend of mine, a guy I knew, Rob. So Rob is an executive, and I've forgotten how I met him because I think I did a show for. In any case, one day, it must have happened this way years ago, there's a Chinese restaurant in Los Angeles, has a weird name, and specializes in duck. And we both had loved duck. So we would meet every time he came to Los Angeles and have duck and talk and talk and talk. One day he brought a friend of his, Dan, who he had gone to university with and had formed a band. And I didn't know, but Rob wrote songs, and Dan had formed a band. They Might Be Giants. Dan Miller. So, Dan Miller is at dinner with Rob and me, and he says, we ought to do an album together. Okay. And whereupon the COVID thing hit. So now they're in New York, and I'm in Los Angeles. And Dan's upstate New York, and Rob is in the city. So we begin a series of Zoom meetings. This is how it would go. We want to write a song. We're making it an autobiographical album of me and stories that I might have. So I begin to tell stories. I'll give you an example. See, I said something funny that I thought was funny. Nobody laughed. Then I said, I'll give you an example, and people laughed. See, I don't understand that. And that's the title of the talk show, I don't understand. So I'm going to talk to you who laughed there, and we'll find out why you laughed when I said, I'm going to give you an example. He didn't, but you did. Okay. I'm leaving home. I'm 23, I think, and I've graduated University in Montreal, and I've worked in Montreal as an actor, and now it's time for me to go to the New York of Canada, Toronto. I'm on my way to Toronto in a little cheap English car, so small and light and used, and I got all my belongings in the back seat, and I'm driving it, and I'm crossing a bridge, and I think the bridge was like over the St. Lawrence River on my way to Toronto, and I'm going across the bridge, and coming at me is an 18-wheeler, and it's pushing that big pillow of air, and as the air hits me, the car goes to the side. I always go over the side of the bridge, but I don't, and I continue on. That's the event. And what I'm telling them is, we all cross bridges all the time. We're all going someplace, somewhere. Intellectually, emotionally, mentally, socially, whatever it is. We're all going from one place to another. And there's always an 18-wheeler coming at us that we have to survive. And that's the song. It's called The Bridge. That's one of the songs. So that we did. So we were writing during the pandemic. I'm recording on an iPhone because Rob is writing the lyrics, sends me the lyrics. I say to Dan, what kind of a song is this? Is it a Western country musical? Is it I want variety. Can we make this into a rock and roll song? Can we make this into a spiritual? So we're working not only on the lyrics, but what kind of a song? How, like what I don't understand, and maybe somebody else does, but I've got the microphone and you don't, is when a group goes into a studio to make an album, what are they doing? When I went with Ben Folds and did an album called what was it called? Say it out loud. Has been. It should have been called Hard of Hearing. I don't know. I did an album with Ben Folds called Has Been, and wrote some numbers, and we went into the studio, and he said, I'll see you there at 11. I said, 11? What about 8? No, I'll see you at 11. So I'd get there at 11, he'd wander in 11:30. He was a musician. He is a musician. And by the way, he was stuck on an album of his, and I said, hey, Ben, if you're gonna say 11 o'clock, be here at 11. And make some notes about what we're going to make notes. We'll just no, man, do some preparation. So he began to prepare. He'd come in on time, and he finished his album as well as mine because of the discipline involved. So what does a group do when they come in at 11, wander in? Hi, guys, what do we do? I don't know, pluck a few chords. Oh, I got a chord here. And they start to make it like then. But that's not how you do a movie. You do a movie by preparation. What kind of a song? What song? Want to write a love song? Will I have some ideas? Here's some. From what I understand, that's not what they do. They go into a studio and they pluck around. They smoke a joint or something, and fashion an album. And of course, they're great albums. I don't know how to do that. So I was writing lyrics and stuff like that. So, there's the musician upstate New York, the lyricist in New York City, and me in Los Angeles. And he's writing, he's composing, he's saying this song, he's laying a bed, a rhythm. I'm doing the thing in a microphone and an iPhone. I'm trying to look at the lyrics, look at the thing. And we fashion an album that the Jonas Brothers bought or took, brought it to Universal Records, which is the top album label in the world. And this album called Bill will be out. The first number will be Joe Jonas accompanying me in a song that we wrote called I Feel Guilty, Guilty. Like the song is all about, I feel guilty all the time. I feel guilty being here. No.
Don't feel guilty.
But one of the lines in the song is, I feel guilty singing this song. So it's my feeling of guilt that I have generally all the time. That's Joe Jonas. Brad Paisley accompanies me on a song called So Far From the Moon. I'm watching the astronauts set foot on the moon. And as the lyric says, the show had been canceled. My marriage had been canceled, and so had my show. So I was in the depths watching these beautiful people on this incredible journey, and I'm lying in one of those cabins on the back of a pickup truck. So I'm on the back of a pickup truck looking at a 4-inch black and white set, seeing the moon in a pasture on Long Island, and I was in the depths of despair. And so the song is watching the magnificence of that and being so far from the moon. And Brad Paisley does that. It's a great album.
I'll look for it.
No. Now, the last bit of this is this. So I'm doing publicity for the album. And Entertainment Tonight, E.T., is interviewing me on camera. Hi. The young man, the young good-looking man, I've forgotten his name, saying, well, I heard the album. I said, you heard the album? How did you hear the album? I haven't heard the album. I mean, I've heard the album, but I heard it in a disc. I haven't heard it. He said, well, they played it for me so we could do the interviews. And then I said to him, what actors who are doing publicity for things that they're in, like I've done all my life, say to the first interviewer who says, I saw your movie, or I heard your television show, or I saw and I say, be quiet. If you have to go to the bathroom, go quietly. Hi, sweetheart. I love you. I said to the interviewer, you heard the album. What did you think? And there was that pause that they have all the time as they gather their thoughts. The first person who's heard something or seen something that I've done that nobody else has seen yet, it's the first review. I said, what did you think of it? Oh, my heart was in my throat. What was he going to say? And he said, I was flabbergasted. No, that's good. I think that's good. I took it as good. I took it, it was. He said, it's a revelation. It's incredible. It's a unique, flabbergasting album from E.T. That's the first review.
Very cool.
Well, I think that's my hour, folks. I'm so sorry. I have to leave, and I haven't even drunk the water, and you've been standing there for a long time. You okay? Join David on the outside. You'll be full of enthusiasm. Thank you, everybody. Pleasure to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for William Shatner. Hi, this is Michael Shanks, and you're watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. The fate of the universe may depend on it. And have fun and follow your fandom.